Hello there, this is Only One Kenobi here, Only One. Just to give you a little update, still don't have a new phone, but I did manage to scramble this footage together today. I was having a bit of fun in the room. This is a video just to show you where you can Easter egg some figures. It's an opportunity to just have a little tour of the room as well. I have a Spock figure and a Kirk. You'll see me open the Spock in a minute. I opened the Kirk the other week on Patreon, but they're 3 3/4 inch figures that I got recently for cheap. And I like to sometimes just hide figures on my shelves. I've got so many shelves, and it's just interesting to Easter egg, as they say, a few different characters from beyond the franchise, Star Wars, and see where they can go. And this is just a little bit of fun. Where can we put Spock and Kirk in this room, ladies and gentlemen? Well, there's tons of places. Join me as we have a look. So here they are. They were £3 each, which is an absolute bargain. Super articulated figures. I opened Kirk a couple of weeks ago. That's a good figure. And when I was in the shop, I thought that this guy here, which is Pike, I thought that was Kirk, only because I knew this was Spock. And I sort of looked on the back of this one, and I saw this big thing for Kirk, so I thought, oh, it's Kirk. It's not, it's Pike. So I did actually end up getting a Kirk, but Spock, even on the back of him, it's got a thing for Kirk as well, so it's quite misleading. But anyway, let's get Spock open. Oh, yeah! Oh, it's got a spare hand as well. Look at that. That's interesting. How about that? These go back to 2008 and they're decent figures, man. If I just lock onto the figure, just like Kirk, he's really good. I opened Kirk on Patreon. This guy, he's got you can't really bend the knees too much, but he has got bendable knees. See, I'm going to have them sat down in this room in various places in cockpits or wherever. But, it's all right. It's better than having no leg articulation at all, you know what I mean? Oh, hang on a minute. If I just really give it a bit more pressure. Yeah, it's alright, it's good. There he is doing the Vulcan. Is it Vulcan? Vulcan? That's what they are, aren't they? The little hand sign. Didn't one of the writers for, what's it called? Bloody High Republic do that hand sign? They better have been joking, man. If they've done it because they haven't got a clue, then, well, anyway. I think I'm going to go and have a bit of fun now and see whereabouts you can Easter egg Star Trek figures in a Star Wars room, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. And number one was obviously in the Falcon cockpit, but not just any part of the cockpit. I mean, I could have had them behind the controls, but no, I wanted them specifically as passengers. Because Star Wars is better. You know what I mean? I just think they look pretty cool just as passengers to Chewie and Han there. That Chewie figure, it's so bad that I have it inside the cockpit because I don't want him on my shelves, you know what I mean? I like good figures on my shelves, like that Chewie there is a nice one. Although he'd fit in there slightly better. But there is the first place I could put them. Where else could we put them? Speaking of the Falcon. Yes, here in the living quarters definitely works as well. I thought I'd get Kirk sat down because he's more senior in rank, the captain, give him the chair. They sit better in these taller chairs here. The Kirk definitely didn't sit as well in the booth here. Probably because his legs don't articulate as much as Spock's do in the 90-degree fashion. They're more of a 45-degree angle, but this is good for Spock. But I've got him sat coming out there. We get flashbacks of Galaxy's Edge here. I keep my old Ben figure in here, just so you know. He's been relegated from the shelves because I just don't need him anymore. I've got a diorama for Ben's house, and I've got a better figure for Ben I use in there. So this figure now does quite a nice job in here, because as you remember, he doesn't have his outside robe on, his exterior robe. He doesn't have his main robe on when he's in the Falcon, nor does he wear that when he's in Ben's house. His own house, sorry. There you are. That's where they are here. Let's move on. Speaking of passengers, both of them fit in here like a glove. This is the first time I've ever put any figures in the cockpit of this thing, apart from Mando in the driver's seat, and then I've put this Grogu, which is actually a 6-inch Grogu, that. But yeah, I have him on the thing. But I've not put any other figures in this cockpit, is what I mean, and these two fit in very nicely there. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? I want to just show you these guys before I put Kirk and Spock in the cockpit here. That's the Power of the Force 2 Weequay. That's the original vintage 80s. That's who I have in here because I don't particularly want them on my shelves because they've had their day. But they still are a relative and they look pretty cool together. And could be two separate characters, two different Weequays, although they're supposed to be the same. Let's swap them. Yeah, and just before I put them in, just look how beautiful this cockpit is, man. Such a nice thing. I need to re-review this barge, man. They're beautiful. Look at the controls and everything. Amazing. Right, let's get them in. Yeah, once again, that was a really good Facebook post. A while ago, somebody did a post saying, what do you have in your barge cockpit? And I wonder if anyone did Spock and Kirk or not. They probably did. They had loads of different things. You could have Chewie and Han up here in the front. You could have anybody. But they look pretty cool, just there as well. An Easter egg. Plus, you know, if I closed it over, you wouldn't know they were there, because you can't see into the cockpit when it's shut. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. And it goes without saying to put them in here. Oh, I love lifting the lid on this cockpit. You know why? These two figures are vintage 80s, and I put them in there because, again, they've had their day. They're not as screen accurate as other figures for the Empire are, but when I lift the lid on this, you get a blast of these two guys, and that really does take me back to my childhood, man. The beautiful petroleum smell of some Star Wars figures. Not all of them smell like that. I think the TIE fighters were supposed to smell of strawberries or something. I don't know. Never had that as a kid. But still, I was going to put them in the driving seat, but I thought, no, put them behind these guys just to show the capacity of this bigger AT-AT. It's not Legacy Collection, it's Shadows of the Dark Side, I think, yes. And you could even have, how many people could you get? You could probably get 6 or 7 people in this cockpit. I've just got them standing behind the two AT-AT drivers. They're there. You've got Veers there, obviously, well, the equivalent. And then there's loads of space. You could even get a, what are they called now? Snow Trooper in there or something. But still, there they are in the AT-AT cockpit. Yeah, and just because there's equilibrium and there's 2 places they can sit on the same vehicle, the Cloud Car is a great option. And there we go. Here are the figures I usually keep inside the Cloud Car. You've got this guy here. Got that in a job lot about 3 years ago. As did I this guy. No, I opened this guy, I think. There he is, John Cleese. So it's a decently well-articulated figure. I have to cross the legs a bit, though, to get him inside this vehicle. But these guys fit in like a glove. And there they are. There's Kirk there. Oh, hang on. There he is. Minding his own business. And there is his partner, Spock, inside there. How about that? Nice. Yeah, and speaking of vehicles that have got 2 seats, this is the only Snowspeeder I have now. I sold my vintage one, because vintage collection one, not vintage 80s, because it was second hand when I bought it, and I want a mint one. I want them to update it or re-release it, but the cockpit of this is problematic because front seat guy's got loads of space, back seat guy struggles. So let's see if we can fit these 2 guys in. Let's see what we've got going on with this one. See what I mean? He's like lying down in there, and then you've got Kirk. Let's see if we can show you him through the window. Yeah, there he is. But I wouldn't mind a reissue of the vintage collection one. I mean, they should have and could have done that for the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, but they didn't. Anyway, moving on. This next one you're going to like. This vehicle here is the Star Tours Snowspeeder 1000, and inside here anyway, I've got loads of figures that I just don't need or use, and I just kind of like a load of miscellaneous figures are in there, which is perfect because on board this is supposed to be Joe Public, and I always imagine it being funny having Spock and Kirk in there because they're not really supposed to be anywhere on these shelves. I'm just having a laugh, as you know. But in here, I'll show you what's there first. And here they are on the front row. There was a spare row available. Let me just show you what I did have in here anyway. A Boba Fett that I don't really use anymore, and this spare Greedo, which is a custom given to me. A Lando, which has seen better days. It's starting to yellow, that one there. It goes that horrible pea green. And then that I got from Tungori. This guy, I just don't need him anymore. So Han and Luke together. So it's quite funny, 2 prominent male stars in one franchise, and then you got these 2 from another. And I like the way I deliberately did that, giving them a space between them, because you know that scene in Andor when you've got Cyril and the other fella, the Irish guy from the security corporation thing. If that bit when they were sat together on the transport, the public transport, and then they swap hats. I watched Andor recently, so I did that just for you now for this shot here. Give them a space between them. There you go. How about that? It's getting full in here. 2 more seats available, and then we're full. Awesome. No, I've changed it. See, now I've got Kirk in the captain's chair there, and I've got Spock in the passenger side there. But anyway, that's better. I think that works a little bit better. How about that? Special guest captain, Captain James Kirk. Getting down to the dregs now, ladies and gentlemen. How about this? This is my new shelf on my Tatooine section. This is all my Tatooine section here. This is a new shelf I've started, which I haven't done a review yet on this. All that's Ben Kenobi's house. This is Anakin's home, his workshop. And I'm going to do a review of them when I get my new camera, but all in good time. But I have my land speeder on the shelf, and I just thought I'd put these two guys in there as well. Now let's see where we can put them in the cantina. That'd be quite funny. Now, if you want to see a full review of this shelf, that's a fairly recent video. I've already got some figures Easter egged in here. I've got Scott Hall at the bar there, the legend that is Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, propping up the bar. And over here, I had Boschek because he had a kind of an 80s look, but there's Spock and Kirk right there. Next to the Donkey Kong machine, Wrath of Khan 82 was that, so Donkey Kong 81, that's a good spot to put them. Anyway, also, when the HasLab comes out, if that rumour is true, the booths there, I definitely will be interested in putting a few characters in there that are like Easter eggs. Like I like to do that here and there and everywhere. Over there, you've got Indian Sala there. Just for a bit of fun, I think it would be quite nice to have a booth full of people who are non-Star Wars related. What do you reckon, ladies and gentlemen? We could have Spock and Kirk riding a bantha, except no, you won't be able to articulate their legs for that. I'm running out of ideas, ladies and gentlemen. I think that is pretty much it. You could put them anywhere. You could put them inside the Tidarium there. That's a two-seater cockpit. You get the picture, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit of fun. Do you do that, ladies and gentlemen? Do you Easter egg characters, figures from different franchises, sci-fi genres, whatever, onto your shelves? I don't like to do it too much because it's Star Wars. I don't want to upset the balance, but here and there you can Easter egg in some characters and stuff like that. It's interesting, it's funny, and let me know if you do it too. I've only just started doing it, to be honest with you. Is there another place you can put in? Two-seater on that vehicle too. Speaking of which, the review of this will be coming very soon, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait to get that open, but I'm going to do it when I've got a new camera. That is all for today. Thank you. Bit of fun. I hope you've enjoyed it. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only One. Out.